Welcome to the My Channel English Nest. Imagine standing on the deck of a ship as the sun slowly disappears beneath the horizon. The sea is calm, the wind is gentle. Every instrument confirms that your journey is safe. Around you, nothing seems unusual. The crew laughs, passengers relax, and the captain confidently follows the planned route. Then, without warning, the compass begins to spin wildly. The radio fills with strange static. The sky, once clear, darkens unnaturally fast. A thick mist rises from the water, swallowing the horizon until sea and sky become impossible to tell apart. The engines continue running, but something feels terribly wrong. You call for help. Silence answers. Moments later, the ship is gone. No distress signal, no wreckage, no survivors. It is as if the ocean itself erased every trace that you had ever existed. For centuries, stories like this have haunted sailors and pilots who crossed one particular region of the Atlantic Ocean, a place feared by some, dismissed by others, yet understood by no one. It is known around the world as the Bermuda Triangle. Stretching between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, this enormous section of the Atlantic has become one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Countless books have been written about it. Endless documentaries have searched for answers. Scientists have analyzed it. Historians have debated it. Conspiracy theorists have transformed it into the center of extraordinary legends. Yet despite decades of investigation, one simple question continues to remain unanswered. Why do so many disappearances seem to happen here? Every mystery begins with a story, and the Bermuda Triangle has more stories than almost any place on Earth. Some are based on fear, some on misunderstanding, but many are supported by real historical records that continue to puzzle experts today. Ships carrying entire crews vanished under clear skies. Military aircraft disappeared during routine missions. Experienced captains reported impossible weather, strange lights, malfunctioning instruments, and invisible forces they could neither explain nor escape. Many skeptics argue that the Bermuda Triangle is nothing more than a myth created by sensational newspapers and television programs. They point out that thousands of ships and airplanes successfully cross this region every single year without incident. They remind us that the Atlantic Ocean is one of the busiest transportation routes on Earth, making accidents statistically inevitable. According to them, storms, powerful currents, navigation mistakes, and mechanical failures provide perfectly reasonable explanations. Perhaps they are right, yet every time a logical explanation seems sufficient, another story appears that challenges everything we think we know. Reports emerge describing compasses spinning without reason. Pilots claim the ocean below looked completely different moments before they disappeared. Survivors describe entering strange clouds where time itself seemed distorted. Were these simply frightened minds struggling to understand dangerous situations? Or were they witnessing something science has yet to explain? This documentary is not about proving supernatural theories. It is not about convincing you that aliens, monsters, or lost civilizations hide beneath the waves. Instead, it is an investigation. Together, we will examine historical evidence, eyewitness testimony, scientific research, and the most famous disappearances ever connected to the Bermuda Triangle. Some theories will collapse under the weight of facts. Others will become even more mysterious the closer we examine them. By the time this journey ends, you may discover that the greatest mystery is not what disappeared inside the Bermuda Triangle, but why humanity continues searching for answers generation after generation. Sometimes the ocean does not simply hide its secrets. Sometimes it keeps them forever. And our story begins with one of the most chilling disappearances ever recorded, an event that transformed an ordinary training mission into a mystery that still refuses to die. On the afternoon of December 5, 1945, nothing suggested that history was about to witness one of its greatest aviation mysteries. At the Naval Air Station in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 5 Grumman TBM Avenger torpedo bombers prepared for what should have been a routine training mission. The crews were experienced, the aircraft had been inspected, and the weather forecast predicted only light winds and scattered clouds. Hundreds of similar exercises had taken place before, without incident. No one standing on the runway could have imagined that within a few hours all 5 aircraft would disappear forever. The mission was known simply as Flight 19. 14 men climbed aboard their aircraft, started their engines, and lifted into the afternoon sky. Their assignment was straightforward: fly east over the Atlantic, complete a bombing exercise near a designated practice. Researchers explore the pyramid, the more fascinating the story becomes. Certain features inside the monument continue surprising experts even today. Advanced scanning technologies have revealed enormous empty spaces hidden within the structure, spaces that nobody has entered in modern history. Imagine discovering a giant hidden chamber inside one of the world's most famous buildings after thousands of years. What could still be waiting behind those ancient stones? Treasure? Sacred objects? Lost writings? Or perhaps something nobody expects? The Great Pyramid has inspired countless theories over the centuries. Some are supported by evidence, others belong only to imagination. Throughout this journey, we will separate historical facts from fascinating mysteries. We will follow the discoveries made by archaeologists while also exploring the questions that still have no clear answers. Because sometimes, history becomes even more exciting when we honestly admit what we still do not know. The desert has protected this monument for more than 45 centuries. Kings have come and gone, empires have risen and fallen, languages have disappeared, religions have changed. The world itself has transformed beyond recognition, yet the Great Pyramid remains, standing, waiting, keeping its silence, and perhaps keeping its greatest secret hidden just beneath the stone. For thousands of years, people have looked at the Great Pyramid of Giza and asked the same question: who built this incredible monument? At first, the answer seems simple. Most historians believe it was built for Pharaoh Khufu, one of the rulers of ancient Egypt's fourth dynasty. But the deeper we explore history, the more mysterious the story becomes. Long before the first stone was placed, Egypt was already becoming one of the world's greatest civilizations. The Nile River flowed through the desert like a lifeline, bringing water, fertile soil, and hope to millions of people. Every year, the river flooded the land, leaving behind rich black earth where farmers could grow food. Because of the Nile, Egypt became powerful while many other lands remained dry and difficult to live in. As villages grew into cities and cities became kingdoms, the Egyptian people developed remarkable knowledge. They mastered mathematics, engineering, astronomy, medicine, and architecture. They carefully observed the movement of the stars, measured time using the sun, and built magnificent temples that still stand today. Each generation added new knowledge to a civilization that would eventually create one of humanity's greatest wonders. At the center of this civilization stood the pharaoh. To the people of ancient Egypt, the pharaoh was far more than a king. He represented order in a world surrounded by chaos. He was believed to maintain the balance between the heavens, the earth, and the people. His responsibility was enormous. If the Nile failed to flood, many believed the gods were displeased. If enemies attacked the kingdom, the pharaoh was expected to protect the land. His life was deeply connected to religion, politics, and the future of Egypt itself. Khufu inherited one of the strongest kingdoms of his time. Although many details about his personality have been lost, historians believe he ruled Egypt around 4,500 years ago during a period of remarkable stability and prosperity. Under his rule, thousands of skilled workers, craftsmen, engineers, surveyors, and stonecutters were organized into one of the largest construction projects in human history. Many people still imagine that slaves built the Great Pyramid. For generations, movies and novels repeated this idea so often that many accepted it as fact. The image of exhausted slaves dragging enormous stones across the burning desert became one of history's most famous myths. But modern archaeology tells a different story. Near the pyramids, archaeologists discovered the remains of workers' villages. These discoveries completely changed the way historians understand the construction of the Great Pyramid. The workers lived in organized communities, received food, medical care, and places to sleep. Some even received honorable burials near the construction site, a privilege that ordinary slaves would never have received. The evidence suggests that many of the builders were skilled workers and seasonal laborers who came during the Nile's flood season, when farming temporarily stopped. Instead of working in the fields, they helped build a monument that would represent their civilization for thousands of years. This discovery surprised many historians. It revealed that the Great Pyramid was not only a masterpiece of engineering, but also a masterpiece of organization. Thousands of people had to work together with extraordinary precision. Stone had to arrive at exactly the right time. Food had to be delivered every day. Tools required constant repair. Every worker had a specific responsibility, and every mistake could delay the